We move to Larry's turn, and on his upkeep, he casts Silence. Welcome to Cardboard Content, where we aim to develop our skills and grow the competitive Commander community. Hey guys, again, it's me, Benedict. Welcome back to round 2 of Dockside Duels at Darkside. We've got a doozy of a game for you guys today. We have Najeela, we have Francisco Malcolm, we have... enough talking about it. How about if I just show you the game? We're starting off with player 1 is on our lower right, Travis, playing Dargo Tymna. Then up next we have Hunter playing Malcolm Francisco, and then Larry on Najeela and Tyler on Korvold. Player 1 is Travis, like I said, but Hunter pre-games a Gemstone Cavern, exiling a Diabolic Intent. Travis plays a Marsh Flats and passes turn. Hunter plays a Misty Rainforest, fetching for a Watery Grave and doing a first turn Voidwalker. Travis responds by fetching in a Badland. On Larry's turn, he plays a Mox Diamond, pitching a Volcanic Island into the Void Zone, and then playing an Ancient Tomb, putting out a first turn Najeela. Tyler fetches with a Windswept Heath and puts a Bayou into play. Travis's turn. Travis plays Blood Crypt, shocking himself for 2, then plays a Talisman of Indulgence into a Hope of Gearper, then passes turn. On Hunter's turn, he plays a Swamp, then plays his commander, Malcolm, and then passes turn. Larry's turn, fetches with a Bloodstained Mire, puts a Bayou into play, and then casts Samut. Larry enters combat with 2 warriors, Najeela and Samut, making 2 warriors and drawing 3 cards. Then passes turn. Tyler plays a fetch and then cracks it and gets a Badland. Passes turn to Travis. Travis plays a Professional Facebreaker, then attacks Larry with Hope, and then gets 1 treasure. Hunter's turn, he plays a Mana Confluence, then goes into combat and attacks Larry for 2, and then nets a treasure. Then plays a Wishclaw Talisman and passes turn. Larry plays a Plateau on his turn, and then a Devilish Valet. He goes into combat with 5 warriors, triggering Najeela, making 5 additional warriors, pumping up Devilish Valet to a 32-3. Before damage, Hunter responds by targeting Devilish Valet with a Cyclonic Rift. Samut triggers and Larry gets 5 draws. Second main phase, casts Ignoble Hierarch and then passes the turn to Tyler. Tyler's turn, he shocks in a Blood Crypt and then plays a Dockside Extortionist. Travis and Hunter respond to Dockside by cracking both their treasures. Tyler plays a One Ring, taps, activates, and draws a card, then passes turn to Travis. Travis goes into combat, he attacks with Hope of Gearper and Professional Facebreaker. Professional Facebreaker triggers, and he nets 2 treasures. Second main phase, he casts Dockside Extortionist, netting him 5 treasures, then casts Magda, Brazen Outlaw. Uses Magda's ability to sack 5 treasures and place a Cursed Mirror into play. Cursed Mirror targets Dockside Extortionist, then casts his commander, Dargo. He moves to his end step, and Larry targets Wishclaw Talisman on Hunter's board. Hunter continues the chain by sacrificing a land and then targeting Najeela on Larry's board. We go to Hunter's turn. Hunter goes into combat and attacks Larry with Malcolm. He nets a treasure, then recasts Wishclaw Talisman. We move to Larry's turn, and on his upkeep, he casts Silence. Friday goes around to Travis, and Travis responds with his own Silence. We move to Larry's main phase. He plays a Windswept Heath, fetches for a Tundra, moves into combat, and then passes turn. We move to Tyler's turn. Tyler untaps, takes 1 damage from the One Ring. Main phase, he taps the One Ring, draws 2, plays a Mox Opal, then plays Korvold. Korvold's ETB triggers, he sacrifices his Mox Opal, draws a card, moves to cleanup, and then passes turn to Travis. Now on Travis's turn, he plays Tymna, then moves into combat, attacking Hunter with Dockside Extortionist, Hope of Gearper, Magda, which nets him a treasure, Larry takes Professional Facebreaker, and Tyler takes Dargo. Post-combat triggers, Facebreaker nets Travis 3 treasures, and Tymna 3 cards. Using Magda's ability, Travis sacrifices 5 treasures and gets Relic of Legends into play, then casts Smothering Tithe. After much deliberation, Travis sacrifices Hope, so Hunter can't cast non-creature spells until Travis's next turn. We move to Hunter's turn. Hunter passes on Tithe tax. Hunter casts Francisco, and then ends his turn. We move to Larry's turn. Larry doesn't pay for Smothering Tithe, plays Najeela, casts Diabolic Intent, sacrificing Ignoble Hierarch, casts the Revi, ETB, targets Mox Diamond, then proceeds to combat. Larry sends Samut and 6 warriors to Travis, netting 7 additional warriors from Najeela, and then the Revi triggers with 14 sources of combat damage, triggering 14 untaps. Then Samut triggers, netting 7+ cards thanks to Najeela's 7 additional warriors coming in and attacking. Larry uses 4 of the Revi's untaps and the Mox Diamond to use Najeela's ability to net an additional combat step. 2 additional taps from the Revi will target Travis's treasures and Hunter's mana confluence. Travis sacks the 2 treasures to make a black and a white mana. 5 additional untaps will target Larry's permanents to net an additional combat through Najeela, and then the last 2 taps will be targeting Tyler's Korvold and Dockside. Larry proceeds to draw with Samut, netting 7 cards, not paying for Smothering Tithe, netting Travis 7 additional treasures. Travis responds with a Tainted Pact, stopping at an ad nauseam. He flips, gets a Defense Grid, Orcish Bowmaster, Red Elemental Blast, and stops at a Dual Caster Mage. Realizing he has no outs, Larry proceeds to combat and then attack out. Congratulations, Larry. Good job to you, Larry, again. It was a rough one for everybody. We had kind of a standoff going. We had Hunter slowing down everyone's board, more so Travis and Tyler, because they had graveyard lines that we're trying to aim for. Looks like the Voidwalker slowed Tyler down a lot. Travis had to pivot his line a bit. Najeela being such a good deck, Larry knowing how to pivot and just win through attrition and just keep attacking and attacking. End game summation. I mean, it's hard to say because there was a lot of politicking going back and forth, trying to figure out the lines, trying to figure out who's going to threaten the win. But Travis did completely lock out one player that had blue that could potentially interact with another 2 players. Maybe bargain with him and say, hey, if I don't crack this Ranger on you, don't win the next turn, or something along those lines. But it's super hard to say. Politicking is on the individual, and whoever it is, probably the best worst thing about competitive EDH. I have to thank you guys again for joining me this week on watching the videos. I have to also thank our Patreons. Thank you so much for your guys' support. Our content consumers, tier 2 Patreon supporters, Aaron and Big Yoda. Thank you guys for joining us. And now our tier 3 supporters, Wong at 3 times, Matt now at 3 times, and Albert at 2 times. Thank you guys so much for your guys' tier 3 support. If you guys want to join us, please consider joining at patreon.com/cardboardcontent. Thank you guys again for joining us on Patreon. We have other social media if you guys like to join, linked down below. This event was in collaboration with Top Deck Championship Series. What is Top Deck Championship Series, you ask? It's a Commander tournament circuit that runs now till August 2024. You can compete in a tournament registered with Top Deck Championship Series. Your accumulation of points will vary in accordance with the event tier that you participate in. Find these tournaments on topdeck.gg. In late August, the top 64 players will qualify for a Top Deck Invitational and will compete for a prize of over $11,000. No tournaments in the area? Well, ask your local LGS to join as a partner to the series and host their own events, which will add to the still growing prize pool. For more information, go to topdeck.gg. That prize pool is now over $12,000. Hopefully I get to see you guys at one of the up and coming events, or maybe one of our future events, which will probably be happening in a month or two. Another thank you to Darkside Games for letting me help them host the event. Looking forward to the next one and seeing you guys in the next round.